This is the show that has hosted everyone from Sugar Ray Leonard to Keith One-Time Thurman. This is Tough Talk Tonight, brought to you by Heavy Bag Boxing.
Well, another episode of Tough Talk Tonight. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Biggers. Alongside me, I got James, I got Javi, I got Rob. What's going on, everybody?
All good.
Going on.
First, I want to say, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Man, that hits a little rough. My childhood is broken in half off that one.
Man, I think we all feel like that, man. That one hit home. That one hit home. And I don't know. You guys can hear me good?
Yeah, you sound all right.
Okay. Yeah, man. I couldn't believe it, man. I got the news while I was at work, and I'm like, no freaking way. I'm like, fake news. Please send me fake news. I know he was dealing with some health stuff, but damn, man, that's like a long list of things. You know, he was like an icon back in the '90s. If you grew up in the '90s, it was past wrestling. It was past being an athlete. He was like the icon, and I think we all grew up watching him. And it was like this American persona that is being lost during the years. And he was like the big brother that we had. And that's it, man. He's gone. Make people like us feel old already. Like, damn, all those old school people that we look up to, they leaving already, man.
Yeah, he was a good role model back in the day. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. He kind of transcended everything. He was a household name everywhere. He continued to be a household name for the next 30, 40 years. So our hats off to you, Hulk Hogan. Ozzy Osbourne, too. I mean, very common household name. We're losing all the greats. All right. Let's jump into it, guys. Here, I want to talk Fundora. Just smashing his way through Tszyu. What a performance by Fundora. I kind of saw this one coming. I thought it was a bad matchup, and I thought that's kind of why Tim was pushing this one off and pushing it off. He said, "Oh, I'm not ready," and then he took on another fight like 2 or 3 weeks later. None of that made sense to me. It did seem like he was ducking it at the time, which is all good. If you're not ready, you're not ready. But he jumped into that fight with Fundora, and it did not look great. Guys, let's speak.
Look, I thought it was a great fight. Up until it ended. Of course, hats off to Fundora. When we look at these guys and we look at what they've done recently, and both fighters, Fundora's been significantly getting better. Tszyu had setbacks, but I felt like in this fight, Tszyu was starting to nail him with some good, clean shots. He was getting in there, getting his shots off before it ended. Unfortunately, and I think Tszyu said this at the end of the fight, he just crashed and burned out. He gave it all he got. 3 of those shots in that final round, I thought Fundora was going down for sure. Like, I thought he was going to go. I would have went down. We all would have went down for me, but I thought those shots were crazy. And Fundora just stood up and took it. And Tszyu gave it all he had. You know what I'm saying? He literally gave it all he had in that final round. I'm not disappointed in him saying, look, I gave it all I got. I'm not going to put myself through no more punishment. I can't. I thought that was actually respectable from what he did. As far as Tszyu does, he lived it to see another day, and I commend him for that. But you're right. What a performance from Fundora. And I mean, at this point, he might solidify himself as the kingpin at this weight class.
Rob, I gotta ask, because we've had similar instances, and you might even have the opposite effect on you. You might say, "Man, that dude didn't even try. Why did he quit on a stool?" What was different? What's different about this? What's different about this fight?
Try. You go back and look at that round. If you go back and look at that round at the end, he hit Fundora with everything but the kitchen sink. And then that final stanza before the bell, he was just getting killed. with Fundora was smashing him, man. And he went back in that corner. He was like, you could tell, he was like, God, I gave it all I had. Like, that's it. That's it. He was gonna get hurt, Lucas. He really was. You could tell the body language, his face, how busted up he was, everything, man. He was gonna get hurt bad.
So you think it was more, and one of you other two could take it too, but you think it was more, I hit him with everything I got. He didn't even flinch. I'm out of here. I got nothing else to give it.
That's pretty much it. And I got to say, Fundora looks better than he's ever looked. I mean, he looks stronger, faster, better reflexes, where Tim was kind of the opposite. He seemed like he wasn't quite up to snuff for this particular matchup. He just didn't seem to have the power, the speed, or, the punch to slow down Fundora. Fundora was going downhill the entire time. And you're right, Rob, he did have a good round, but it seems like he threw everything on the kitchen table and then tried to make it work and didn't have enough to make it work, and it was over. Plus, he had a pretty bad cut. So, but he looked pretty beat in his corner. I felt bad for the guy, but Fundora's looking better than he's ever looked.
Javi, do you agree? You think he was underperformed? Do you think he didn't prepare right? Like what happened? What the problem is with this?
I feel like I don't think not that he didn't prepare right. I'm sure he put in work and trained hard. It just maybe a combination of not the best game plan and not being able to adapt and during the fight. Because while if you look at their fight, you could see that Fundora was not even throwing that much hard. He was just staying busy, right? Overwhelming, like he usually does. He just overwhelms with his volume.
Mm-hmm.
And Tszyu constantly try to just hit him with this, home run type of punches. And I mean, I think after like 5 rounds, he could have adjusted and do something better. Like, hey, maybe put your combinations together. Take some steam off those punches that they're not landing, though. And there was none of the adjustment and kind of like the pressure of Fundora coming forward, throwing not all hard, but changing the speed and the power of the punches. It got to him. So when it came down to it, Fundora had a little more trick in his bag than Tszyu. And I don't think it was a matter of giving up or nothing like that. I think it's just like he pretty much gave everything. There was nothing else, and he needed to be safe.
I mean, do we think he didn't even try to make that adjustment, though? I mean, do you think there was still some tools left in the tool bag to try to use? I mean, a different strategy? Was there nothing else, or did he just quit at the right time, guys?
I feel like he was limited. Like I said, I think his bag of tricks was limited, and Fundora had like another 2-3 gears to go into it that he didn't even get to it.
It's impossible. Fundora, man, he fights on the inside. He fights good long, at distance. What do you do with someone like that? Tim couldn't find the right distance. I mean, he did connect a few times, and he connected good, but I think Fundora had an answer for everything that Tim had to offer, and it's just a bad night for Tszyu. But apparently he'll be back.
I mean, you got to look at it like this, Lucas. When he popped Fundora, like I said, a good 3 times in that round. I mean, popped him, and Fundora didn't even stop. He just kept coming forward. He didn't even stop in his tracks. I'm sure in Tszyu's mind, he's like, it was like, take this one, okay. Well, shit, take this one. No, take that. Oh, shit, he's still here? He's still here. Man, I got to get out this, man. I'm going to get hurt bad. And I commend him for doing that. I really do, because that's exactly the way it looked like, man. He hit him with punches. I was like, oh, he's going down. I was like, Fondora's going. Nah, man. Nah. He didn't go down. Not only did he not go down, he applied more pressure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of at odds whether I'm either proud of him or disappointed for quitting on it, the way he did. Like, I think he still had at least a round in him. Everybody's going to say, well, he's just going to take more punishment. But I mean, it didn't really feel like he tried enough to me.
I don't know. I don't know what you were looking at, man, but
I
I
mean, you
don't
got to
know.
go to the body. You got to mix it up. You have to at least make an attempt here.
I mean, the problem is Fundora is tricky enough, right? Because he's so damn tall. In the end, he can fight good on the inside. So even when Zoo had him on the inside and landed those punches, no, it did nothing.
I,
It did nothing.
and I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think, you put a lot of effort into that first fight, and it feels like he didn't even give half the effort in this fight. This is how it feels. I see exactly what you guys saw. I saw that, he was walking through Tim's punches. So I feel and I hear you. I do. It just doesn't feel like the effort was even half as what it was in that first fight.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time too, it's like I tell you something, man. It's really frustrating and discouraging when you hit somebody with your best shots that you usually get a reaction from, and they just eating it like nothing and still coming forward. I saw at some point that shit will get to your mental, like and some guys never move past that. Okay, well, this is not working. Let me go to plan B, plan C, plan. And they just like, oh fuck, this is not working. Well, what am I do? They get frustrated, and he caught Tim. He caught Fundora a few times with some nice shots, but Fundora was just eating them shits like nothing. And this is shots that the Sioux have stopped people or knocked people down at least with them. And Fundora was just eating them with nothing. And I'm telling you, man, that does something to your mental. And some guys cannot. They just freeze up. Some guys cannot, move that to the side and make a quick adjustments on the go. Some guys just, some guys might be able to do it on the next fight. Some guys just never do it. And I feel like Tszyu just. I don't want to say he's a one trick pony, but he was he was pretty much Fundora. Not only got the perfect style to beat him, but he also exposed a lot of his flaws. And if he's smart enough, he will look at this and be able to study and go to work on them. His team should be able to work on it because there was a lot of things exposed when he came to Sue right that night.
Very true. James, let me ask you this. Tim Tszyu is three of his last four were losses. Where does he go from here? Do you think he's capable of capturing a championship?
I don't know. That's 54 is pretty packed. He's got a lot of really, really good competition in there. I was hoping that he might be able to get past Fundora in this fight and move on, but pan out. Hard to say. Really, really is. We'll see how he does in his next fight. He's got to find a good opponent to give him a good match and kind of get back into things. It's going to take a while.
Okay. Well, I mean that's enough about Tszyu. Let's talk a little bit about Fundora. I mean he honestly just looked like a beast in this fight. I don't know where he goes from here. He looks unstoppable after beating Tszyu that bad. Guys, who would you like to see fight next?
That's easy. Virgil Ortiz.
That is a good one.
That is all say. Virgil Ortiz, baby.
That would be a good fight, and I think that's also a tricky fight for Virgil. So
Yeah.
that one would be definitely a good scrap at it. I still, man,
Crawford.
maybe I'm just
with
partial. Maybe I'm just partial to these guys, but I still want to see Charlo come back into the picture. I still want to see that fight. They should have fought before instead of him going the Canelo route. We got to see the Charlo come back in the ring, of course, but I still want to throw Charlo in that mix. I want to see what Charlo is made of.
Yeah, I mean, Fundora still has a lot of fights to be made. I mean, you got Madrimov, of course, Virgil Ortiz, like he was saying, Crawford. He's got a lot.
How about one time?
You can throw him in there too.
Well, he's 54, so yeah, maybe I should call him none time, but that might work.
None time in this division anyway.
Right.
Got moved.
It's going to be an interesting fight because he's just so interesting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Fundora's he's high quality entertainment when it comes to fight right now. I mean, the dude is so tall, so lanky, and like you said, James, he fights at any distance, and he does it well. And he doesn't hold.
Never been. Yeah, he's never been in a boring fight.
No, he's got a little bit Mexican in him.
And shout out to his father, as a trainer. His father has done great work with him, and he's training him really well. His training team. I don't know if it's his father or who it is, but Fundora's training. Yeah, he's done a great job with that kid. Great job bringing him up.
And his sister. I mean, that's a fighting family. But yeah, I mean, Fundora's on to better things after that fight. What a systematic demolishing of Tszyu.
Who would be that? Who would be the unification bout for him in that division? Because I think that's where you got to go next with Fundora, right? You probably want to try and unify those titles.
I mean, I would love to see him try to become undisputed, but a lot of people don't even attempt that anymore right now. The WBO is vacant. The IBF is Murtazaev. WBA is Crawford. And then Fundora himself, he's got the WBC. So could he? Yeah, I'd like to see the Crawford fight. I think that one's not as likely to happen just because of everything going on with Canelo. Who knows when Crawford will fight after that, or even if he'll fight after that. I mean, the Murtazaev fight, that's definitely makeable, though. So maybe we will get some.
Murtazaev, though.
Say what?
But I don't think anyone wants to fight Murtazaev.
Yeah.
That would be a great matchup for Fundora.
I do like it. I don't think anybody wants to fight Fundora either. And that makes that fight really good. I really hope we see Fundora in some more exciting matchups like this. I hope he doesn't take a step down. I want to see him go after Undisputed. That would be amazing. I always like 154, and is no different now. It is still packed, like you said, James. So a lot of good fights to be made there. All right, let's go down to Usyk here. Let's let Rob eat a little crow. I'm gonna let you speak first on this one, Rob. Didn't you say Dubois? Didn't you pick Dubois?
Shut up, Bookie. I thought Dubois was fighting nice up until he got caught. Really, I did. I like the combination of punches he was throwing. I like the range he was at, speed, everything. Listen, Usyk is a beast, man. Well, I've said it before. You might as well call him a machine, okay? Because the man is just a machine. He knows how to fight in that division, any range he can fight at, any style of fights he can fight at now. There's probably nobody right now in the division that can even touch him. Even looking down at the cruiserweights and all of that coming up, nobody in that division that can touch him. There's really nobody on the planet who's doing what Usyk is doing right now. And this heavyweight championship reign that he's on is legendary. Okay. is legendary. Klitschko got credit all them years for doing all of that European stuff, fighting overseas, dominating invalid opponents that were lesser of him till he got stopped. Usyk is taking on everybody twice. He's taking on everybody twice and getting rid of them all. So what he's doing right now, he's a one in a lifetime fighter. He really is. So yeah, I'll eat crow on that, being that. And I said it. I thought Dubois looked game. He really did look game. And the disappointment showed at the end of the fight. He really was disappointed. I think he came in there in great shape. He's totally expecting to win, and he ran into the machine, y'all. He ran into the machine. I mean, that punch. The crazy part about it is that punch. He saw it coming, and he tried to put the hands up. Right? He tried to put the hands up. Usyk still got past the guard and landed flush. Flush. Mike Tyson would have went down with that shot. Old Mike Tyson would have went down with that shot. That shot was crazy. I don't know how he does it. Man's a machine. My hat's off to him. All credit. I'm probably not going to pick against Usyk in this lifetime again.
You learned your lesson, Rob. Is that what you're saying?
Man, like I said, you got the fight that I saw. I know everybody sees fights differently, right? The fight that I saw, I thought Dubois was putting a good amount of pressure on him early. Okay, like I said, I like the combinations that he was throwing at Usyk. I like the combinations, everything that he was doing. I think he probably should have went to the body more. Um, Definitely should have went to the body more. And opened up a few things. But I felt like he was trying to pressure Usyk. His combinations looked sharp. He looked fit. He looked like he was ready to go 12 rounds with the machine. And Usyk still not only just found a way, I mean, Usyk did exactly what he was supposed to do, man. He put a stop to a younger, hungrier fighter who deserved to be in there. Period. That's the final stamp on that night.
Yeah, I mean, he came with aggression, and Usyk just used it against him. I had a flat out sweep for Usyk. Some people had it a lot closer before the stoppage. Not that it matters because of that knockout. But I mean, I didn't see the need for this fight. I really didn't. I didn't want it. Some people were very high on this fight. So for me, everybody now is like, oh, well, he's one of the best ever. And I'm like, he was already one of the best ever. This fight made no difference already. And I thought he was going to stop him in 6, and he stopped him even before that. So, and I believe that was my prediction from last week was stops him in 6. So I mean, I'm not surprised about this fight. And honestly, it didn't do anything for me with moving Usyk up or down. He's still great. He just stayed kind of where he was for me. Adam, one of our YouTube comments, he said, "I just want Usyk to fight Parker. Then I'll be convinced he's one of the best ever." I'm already convinced. Go ahead. I'm sorry, James.
Yeah, that's the matchup we really need because who needs to see Fury again? Who needs to see AJ? Who needs to see another Dubois? This is perfect. And Usyk has beat everyone decisively. But going back a little bit, after that first knockdown when Dubois hit the deck, he got hit on top of the head like with a solid shot. That kind of reminds me of what Gennady Golovkin used to do when he threw, down to the top of the dome.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, man, that is a really, really lethal blow. I was, knowing, I pretty much figured out that was the start of the end for Dubois because that blow is really, really hard to get over. It's very, very painful. And it slowed him down enough where he was susceptible to, take a shot. And boy, did he take it. He saw that punch coming, you're right, and just didn't have the reflex to handle it or slip it or do anything. He just took it. And I don't think he quit. I think he got beat decisively. And I'm kind of glad that I'm one of those who did want to see this fight again, or this rematch, because, that first one, there was a little bit of controversy, but Usyk handled it, with a KO. So it was good. But overall, Usyk, he does everything super well. Good reflexes, good speed, good power. So what more can I say? Bring on Joseph Parker.
Yeah, is that what you guys want too, Joseph Parker?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you have to at this point. That's the next man standing, Lucas.
That's it. Javi, are you in agreement? You want to see Usyk Parker? Is that all that's left?
Honestly, I'm not really eager about that one, but that's about the only one left. I mean,
what else would do it for you, Javi? I mean, what else do you want from Usyk? I mean,
the only way that he can become the unified undisputed champion and solidify his legacy, he gotta be the GOAT.
I already know what you're gonna say.
Say it. I agree with you. Say it.
Jake Paul, baby. Woo!
Did you say fake Paul?
Fake Paul.
Nah, I mean, honestly, guys, let's be honest. Everything that's to be done in the cruiserweight and heavyweight, he did it. There's not a lot of people that can give him any trouble, and this is a cruiserweight doing what he did. But I believe the only person that earned his shot, it will be Parker. And then after that, I really don't see much. There used to be a buzz about Big Baby. I think it's Anderson, his last name, Jared Anderson. But that ship failed already. So I don't think that's gonna happen. He's got to rebuild himself. But Cody also was given some type of buzz, and we already know what happened with him. And then the Big Bang, what was his name?
Zhang.
The heavyweight, Zhang.
Yeah.
Those were guys that were like, okay, well, this is the heavyweight that Usyk probably might have to answer to. But I mean, pretty much they all, they probably will have to earn their shot. Not sure how much Usyk is going to be around, but I mean, I don't know what other options are there. I don't see nobody else there that could give him any type of work. Anybody else there is like either too green coming up, or they just took a hit and they didn't do much to earn that shot.
Well, and we got Wilder, who Fury beat the Wild out of Wilder. He's just not the same guy. So I mean that the fight's not even interesting anymore.
Listen, I'm not a fan of Wilder, but I would not put that man to get hurt there against Usyk.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fight anymore. It's just not.
I would look at Usyk versus the Bronze Bambi.
I want to see Parker. I think that's really all that's left. Parker has reinvented himself. This is a whole different version of Parker. So I agree with you guys. I think that's all that's left. After that, we can crown him if he isn't already crowned in a lot of people's eyes. Now, lately, at least on social media, there's a lot of viral comparison to Muhammad Ali. They share a birthday. Guys, can we call him a great? Can we call him an all-time GOAT? And can we call him better than Muhammad Ali?
No, because those are two different eras. Those are two different eras, two different legacies. We unfortunately have not had the level of competition at heavyweight as we did back in the golden eras of Ali. We just haven't had that. What Usyk is doing is remarkable, yes. I think you can put his reign over Klitschko's reign. You obviously now put his reign over Fury's, and what he done with Tyson Fury there. Remember, Tyson Fury just a year or two ago was considered the greatest of our era. So to me, that's where he falls in the category. All time with Muhammad Ali, he's accomplished a lot. I'll give him that. But this era in the heavyweight division is just not that. Because you look at the guys that are coming up, the contenders even that are coming up, there's nobody worth mentioning, Lucas. There's nobody worth saying, oh, this guy's going to be a problem in this division one day. You can't say that about any of them. Any of them.
Yeah, I mean, every era you're going to have that, though. I mean, once Ali, he beat Frazier, he beat, a couple of the people, you got to wait a little bit. Sometimes there's just that waiting game. Usyk doesn't have that kind of time, and I don't think he has that much to stay around and wait to see if anybody's going to pop up to fight him. And I agree. I mean, I hate the comparison for different eras. Like, the weights aren't the same. It's just not the same. A heavyweight back then is not a heavyweight now. Tyson Fury, who may have been less skilled, may have ran all over the heavyweights back in the day. We'll never know. It's too hard to compare that.
Yeah, you know what it is too, and I feel like a lot of the comparison with Usyk and Ali, besides their birthday and their height, their reach, whatever they have in common, is also the fact that Usyk is bringing something into the table that is being lost in boxing, which is like the national pride. The man represents his country everywhere he goes, and he pretty much fights with his people and his heart. It's beyond boxing. That's something that Ali also brought at the time. They were dealing with different things. Ali was dealing with, the whole segregation, civil rights. Usyk is dealing with the whole Ukraine, Russia. So they both bring in that national pride that has been missing. But boxing used to be a very national sport. That's been missing a little bit. When it comes to religion, that we both have different religions. But if you notice also, Usyk always talking about Jesus Christ and him being Christian, even when he was over there in the land of the Muslims, in the Mecca, right when they acknowledge Jesus Christ, but at the same time, is for you to stand there and be firm in what you're saying. That's also being missing. Like, it's to a fighter that stands for something beyond the money and the flashing and the luxury lifestyle, and something that's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the Muhammad Ali. That's the throwback stuff that we've been missing in boxing. You know what I'm saying? There's a beautiful picture of him in his locker room, and it's like, he's reading his Bible. His Ukraine flag is in there on the couch. He got a little toy with a that also he always carry from his daughter, and then he has like this little religious altar where he does his praying and stuff. So he stands for things that are beyond what we've been given the last 20 years. Fighters being around rappers and this rapping like lifestyle and the flashiness and the celebrity star. You know what I'm saying? This beyond that, and that's why I feel like the comparison has come a lot lately. But the fact that he's great at what he does makes everything else more, like, wow, this is like an icon. Kids, there's a lot of kids in his country that are looking at him like, damn, I want to be that person one day. And that's some of the values that is being lost. And boxing used to be about that, And that's why I like the man. I love the man because he stands for something that's beyond the superficial stuff that we used to lately in boxing.
Yeah, for sure. That's well said. Adam says Usyk has it all: fast hands, great footwork, heart, even underrated power. You got to agree, he's kind of jack of all trades. James, I thought you were getting ready to say something before.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, on top of all of that, he's got a chin.
That's true.
He's got a steel chin.
Yet to be dropped. Yet to even really be very noticeably hurt. Now, in the first Fury fight, I think he was pretty hurt. Another good shot might have taken him down, but he held on.
Well, he took Fury's best shot and didn't even flinch. I mean, he didn't even let him know he was hurt. He just, stayed in position, stayed staggered, or stayed bladed, and just kept punching. So he's not going down. And I don't know. I just think he's at the top of his game, and he's probably got a few more fights to comment on something that you mentioned earlier. He's got a few fights left. Maybe Agit Kabayel, maybe Joseph Parker. And I think that's it for him after that. He did talk about going back down to cruiser, though, and to establish himself as a undisputed champion there. So we'll see how that goes. But I see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even see a why. You know, I mean, if there's some competition down there that he really feels like it's gonna be a decent fight, okay, but I don't see it. At least not right now.
Well, physically, it's almost impossible because he's like 40 pounds over right now. So
Right.
okay.
CJ, welcome back to the show. Usyk is great, but none of the guys he is fighting compares to the guys Ali fought. Frazier, Foreman, Norton, Shavers is heavyweight. Nia's never been a firefight where he was tested as a cruiserweight. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but not top 10 of all time. See, I can't because, again, it's just different eras. It's hard to say. Yeah, I know that was the highlight. That back in the Ali days, everybody was a name. That doesn't necessarily mean that everybody was great. That just means that, you know, we knew them all. You know, if you look at some of like their last fights and their opponents' records, right? Dubois 22-2, Fury 34-1, Fury 34-0. We forget Fury was undefeated. Then again, Dubois 19-1, Joshua 24-2, 24-1, Chisora 32-9, Witherspoon, Bellew. I mean, all these guys have. Witherspoon even was 38-3. That was his first heavyweight fight here up in Chicago. Bellew 30-2, Gasayev 26-0. Like he has been on that kind of a run. And yeah, you can look at Ali's too. Trevor Berbick 19-2, Holmes 35-0, Spinks was only 7-0. And yeah, Shavers. But he had some little names in there too. It's just so hard to compare these eras that I can't say one's better than the other.
Okay, so mark this down in history, but I wholeheartedly agree with CJ tonight. So
you don't think he's top 10 of all time?
Mark this down in the history books, but I agree with CJ tonight because of this reason and to touch on it. Where Ali was great is everything you want to see in a man and in a fighter is when they are tested and they have to try something completely unorthodox for them. And you go back to the rope-a-dope. You go back to that performance. I've never seen anything like that to where the man sat there with these opponents, had to think, had to outsmart them, had to outwit them. You know, where he lacked in some of the categories where they were stronger, with Foreman being the strongest guy who, you know, practically almost broke him down and killed him in the ring. And the way that he was able to outwit him in that performance. That's what you look at when you say legacy. That's what you look at. The things that you had to endure in your career and in a fight. Usyk's had to endure the things outside, like Javi mentioned. Yes, he's had to deal with the things outside of the ring, but inside, never been tested. Now it is different eras. It is, but that's what I look at when I look at why Ali is considered one of the greatest of all time, is what that man had to go through in the ring and what he had to do and adjust in the ring to some of these great fighters, to whereas Usyk is just a bitter machine, comes in untested, and is able to just walk through opponents.
Here's my problem though with that golden era. It doesn't matter what Usyk does; he can never live up to that. It's, you know what I mean. It's untouchable. It's like Babe Ruth. You don't ever want to say, oh, he's better than Babe Ruth, or he's better than an Ali, he's better than a Joe Frazier. No one will ever admit that just because we hold those guys on this pedestal. up here so high that it doesn't matter what Usyk does, right? I mean, you guys already admit if he goes and fights Parker, he can literally fight every single man in the division. And if he wins all of them, you say, he still ain't no Ali. So it does not matter.
Right. But that's something that boxing an awful lot is make those comparisons. We're always like, if this guy would have fought this guy in his prime, it's always a comparison, and it's fun, and it makes a good conversation at times and a good fun argument. But I mean, there's really no end to it.
Yeah. I like Usyk if they fought in their prime. I don't know. I might take Usyk against Ali. We never know, but it will come to it. I'm kind of interested also in what Adam's saying. CJ, if you're still on, I'm interested here. Who are the 10 that are better than Usyk? Who do you got? I would like to see everybody's top 10. So if you have that, please comment on the show. Let me know who your top 10 is above Usyk. I think I'll also create a post probably after the show's over. I'm really interested in that because, like I said, Usyk is we said untested. I don't think that's fair. I think Fury has tested him. I think Fury tested him in both those fights. They weren't straight walkaways for Usyk, but they were good. And yes, CJ, all time. That's what we're talking about here. So just a quick question. I mean, we kind of already talked about it, but Rob specifically, is there anything Usyk could do? If it fight two guys on one night, what does he have to do to prove to you that he could be that good? Be an all-time, be top 3 or better. Nothing.
Again, unfortunately, they don't. The heavyweight division does not have the what he can do for me. Take out Parker, take out everybody, and keep fighting. Keep fighting until there's nobody left.
Keep fighting into his 40s.
Yeah, he'd have to keep fighting until there's nobody left.
I think at that point, though, then he's just going to get beaten by lesser of a boxer, and he's just going to lose because he's old.
But he's saying all time great, right? All time, he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
Because people like that say that, well, he should fight this, and he should fight with this and that. You're the first one to demand that, but then you're the first one to throw him to the fire when he loses at 45. Obviously, past his prime, and then y'all want to come and say, well, you see, I told you he was never shit. Well, of course he's not going to be shit at 45, but this is his prime, and he's doing everything that he's doing, and then it's not about the winning that he's unfortunate that this era is not a lot of competition of, but it's the competition that's out there and the way that he's disposing of them. You know what I'm saying? Like he's beating these guys and he's beating them systematically. He's breaking them down. He's doing things that these guys that were supposed to be good ones never been before. So that's the reason why it's impressive, all of his wins and what he's doing. Mind you, he's not even a full-blown heavyweight. I met him in person in New York when Lomachenko fought Linares in the MSG. I think that's about 7 years ago. He's probably like 6'1". At that time, he was a cruiserweight, so he wasn't as big as he is now, but he's not the most big guy. And to take away these guys the way he's doing it, that's impressive to me. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I think it sucks that he's in a moment where there's not a lot of stiff competition, but that's why I agree with Lucas. I don't really compare the eras because of that. It's a lot of ifs or what ifs. So it's just more like taking a credit from the guy. He's doing what Messi did. He completed boxing. I'm not sure what else was there to do.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly do. I think he could fight Andy Ruiz, turn around and the same night beat Parker, and people still aren't going to give him anything. You know what I mean? It's because of that era is held higher than this era, and I think the Fury wins are easily overlooked. I don't know how many times, guys, that we went on here, we talked Tyson Fury should be pound for pound. We've said that. We've said, man, he moves good. He has power. He has speed. He has boxing ability. Tyson Fury is the man at heavyweight. And we said Usyk was great too coming up. After the cruiserweight, though, we're thinking, I don't know how he translates well to heavyweight simply for the fact when he fights those big guys. He fought the big guys. He's victorious. Then he goes to take on the 6'9" Tyson Fury monster, still makes him look bad. And again, I feel like he gets credit, maybe just not enough.
I think he's recognized as the top. I mean, I have him number one in my pound for pound in second. But yeah, number one. I think he gets all the credit that he deserves, and then some. People are starting to recognize him, but it's a shame that that division is kind of shallow when it comes to competition now. I mean, he's beat everyone, and you would think that there's some really, really big competition out there. It's really not there. I mean, Parker, really, really decent fighter, but that's about it. Yeah. If you want to consider someone like Caballero, which is good. He's got 26 victories. Not bad. I don't think he's up to stuff.
But if he goes back down and beats like a Jay Apatow or something like that, I mean, does that help his legacy, any Rob or James or Hobby? Does that even help?
I mean, I think it does. I don't see him doing it. I don't see him moving down.
I don't think it's the right move myself, but
I think it is what it is.
His heavyweight legacy is more impressive for somebody to come from a lighter weight to heavyweight and dominate the big guys than for a big guy to trim down and take over a smaller division. So I don't think it's gonna give him much credit, and that people are not gonna give him the credit that he deserves. I think this is more of like him having a challenge that's gonna keep him in there, because there's nothing more exciting for a fighter than to have a challenge. To be like, can I do this? Like, should I try? Fuck it, it's scary. I'm gonna do it. That's what fighters live for. When you no longer have that, it's not about that you lose your interest for fighting. It's just like it's not challenging. Therefore, it's not exciting anymore. And a lot of guys decide not to go for it no more because the excitement part goes away.
That's fair. I mean, there's still a couple of fights for Usyk to make, whether they are reasonable for him or not. That's still yet to be determined. Like James said, Caballero. You've got Zhang. You've got Andy Ruiz, who needs another opponent. I don't know if it's going to matter, but maybe somebody can move up from cruiserweight. Maybe we can get somebody coming back. Who knows? But I don't think Usyk has a lot more left to prove, and definitely not a lot of opponents left to prove it. Speaking of that, that's a good transition to move on here. Speaking of scary things, Javi, Pacquiao returned 46 years old against a champion in Barrios. Majority draw, guys. How did you see the fight? Me personally, it felt to me, and maybe he was being cautious, but it felt to me like Barrios was holding back a little bit in those first few rounds. Did anybody else feel that way?
I don't think he was holding back. I think he was like a bit of starstruck. He was there with a legend, and he knew it. And he probably paid a little bit too much respect in the few rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't snap out of it until probably fourth or the fifth round. And honestly, also Manny awkward style has to do a lot with it. When you don't know what you're dealing with, you never seen nothing before. It makes you a little more hesitant to like throw punches. You're thinking more defense than offense, and that's also part due to Pacquiao style. To give him thing. But I think also the fact that fighting a legend, some guys can get past that where they can kind of turn it off. The switch, like, okay, fine, I love this guy, I look up to this guy, but I'm fighting him now. So they can switch off of that, but some guys cannot do that. And I think Barrios couldn't get past that. Or by the time he got past that, there were already 4 or 5 rounds went in,
That's fair.
I personally was hoping that Manny would get knocked out.
God damn it, James. Why? Why you want to do Manny like that?
I don't know. It's just the arrangement. I mean, hey, retired. You did enough. Thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. But Jesus Christ, 46 years old. And, in the end, he fought okay for a 46-year-old. And now people are saying, well, no, Pacquiao got robbed. Pacquiao did not get robbed. If you think Pacquiao got robbed, you are wrong. He did not get robbed. He did okay. It's too bad that Barrios didn't have that killer instinct. This whole arrangement was kind of funky, but I mean, even in the face-off and weigh-ins and all this business with touching gloves in the ring, I mean, none of that makes any sense to me. I didn't really dig this arrangement, and I didn't like the outcome. I didn't like the fight. I didn't like the decision. I mean, it was a tie, and that's all fine, but I was hoping for, some real war. It never developed. So I'm glad it's over. And please do not bring up the subject of Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Please.
Listen,
about that, I don't care for it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's coming, but you never know. Maybe this was a proof of concept for Pacquiao. I don't know. Maybe he'll just do a rematch with Barrios, but he showed some glimpses of Pacquiao in the prime, but you can tell that he couldn't maintain that for very long. Rob, who did you have winning? Honestly, I think if anybody got shafted a little bit, it was probably Barrios. I think the crowd reacted a lot more for anything that Pacquiao did. I think I had Barrios. I didn't really keep score, but I would have had Barrios probably up a round or two.
No.
What was that?
Mario Barrios, if you're listening, this was the biggest disappointing performance you've ever put on in your career. All you literally had to do to beat the man was throw combinations. That's it. You just had to throw combinations. Yes, Manny looked like Manny in flashes, but you were obviously the fresher, younger fighter. Being that you are a champion, you gave the man way too much respect. How many times in the corner do they have to tell you, stop fucking shaking the man's glove? Stop respecting him. Why are you doing this to yourself? And then towards the end, they're like, oh, this is the moment, the best moment in your life, kid. No, it's not. No, because Manny shouldn't still be there. James, you're absolutely right. It was great to see Manny come back. I, for one, personally am 100% glad he didn't get knocked out because I didn't want to see him get hurt. The people and the fans all came there to see Manny, and they got to. But Barrios didn't really have to do much to win this fight. But he didn't do it. Period. I think Manny got robbed.
I'm not. Nah, I don't see Manny.
No, he did. Listen. Let's call a spade here, okay? You can't beat a legend with 2 punches. All Barrios had was the right hand, which of course Manny's gonna cut off because he's smart. He knows what he's doing, and then a jab. You're not gonna beat Manny Pacquiao with a fucking jab, and that's all he threw all night. And he even stopped doing that in the later rounds.
Yeah,
And he gave away rounds in this fight by not throwing combinations, by not letting his hands go. And another telltale is Freddie Roach in the corners telling Manny to throw 5-6 punch combinations. The man is 46. He can't do that shit no more.
Yeah, but that's because he wasn't
But he was winning off of 3 and 4 combinations. Why? Because only thing Barrios could do was throw a fucking jab. Okay? This is saying something when Janky Pacquiao, I'm butchering the name. I'm sorry, baby.
Jinky.
When Miss Pacquiao says you could beat this guy, take on this guy, y'all were absolutely right. That's why he picked this opponent, because he was the weakest link in the division, and he showed why he was the weakest link in the division that night. So next time, grab your marbles, get them out the trunks, and show us what you're supposed to show us. Do what you're supposed to do.
I don't think he can.
I don't think I want to see his huevos. Okay, you you told him to pull his nuts out of his trunks. Don't do that.
Do it.
I
Do
think
it.
Many years. I mean, 4 different decades. I mean, that's enough. I mean, you're not going to get that Pacquiao. That Pacquiao is gone.
That's what I'm confused. He literally just said that Roach was telling Manny to throw 5-6 combinations, but obviously he cannot do it anymore because he's past his prime. But yet you just want him to stop Barrios. I mean, I don't think he has in him no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? To like stop Barrios. Barrios is not. It's not a walk in the park. Yeah, of course. I mean, he's not also like the most threat of that division, but if he's not a walk in the park, and you know what I'm saying, I think the only thing that played wrong with him, it was like him just, for me, I think he was starstruck, and then he was too caught up on the moment of like, he was fighting a legend, fighting his favorite fighter, and he wasn't really seizing the moment per se.
Yeah, I definitely see
That
what
is
you
a
mean.
beautiful comment there, Adam. That was a great fucking comment right there.
His huevos might be shriveled up at this point. Look, I still thought Pacquiao put on a better performance than what I was expecting. He made it sound like he was confident that he can even come back better. After the fight, he was very confident in saying that he's going to fight again, which just adds more stress to me, man. I love watching Pacquiao fight, but this time is just too stressful. I don't want to see this man get carried out on no stretcher. I don't want to see an all-time great get hurt. And that's what it is. When you're going into 46, you have to think like, man, should this man even have a license to fight anymore? Should he just take the Jake Paul route? And I respect that he said he didn't want to do that. He wants to fight for actual boxing. He wants to fight for an actual title. I commend him for that, but it also just feels like a death wish at this point. Even though he did still look good.
He did that, and he got a draw. There's a few points that he made at the end that I thought were valid even as well. He said this was a 2-month training camp. I need 3. He hasn't been active. So now he's acclimated back into the ring and getting more active. James, we don't know. Maybe more training camp, more activity in the ring. Maybe those 5-6 punch combinations can come back. It wasn't there that night, no, but maybe it can.
I really doubt it.
But one thing's for sure, guys. Barrios was open for it, and that's the problem. Barrios was open for it.
I think if anything,
he's not the dangerous. He's not the most dangerous welterweight out there. I mean, he's a so-so mediocre, pretty decent welterweight, but he's not a killer.
Yeah, I definitely got to agree there. I think that was the safest road to come back and look at a belt, but maybe he could get some angles back, Rob. But I thought about that too, because he seemed confident that, man, I can get back to where I used to be. And we trick ourselves. That ego speaks volumes, and I'm not so sure. Like James was saying, I mean, I have every faith that Pacquiao can get in shape. Pacquiao can still fight. The punch resistance was frightening. I think anything that landed kind of shook Pacquiao. I mean, even the jabs from Barrios kind of looked bad for Pacquiao to take. Um, I really don't know if he can get in too much better shape than what he already was. It's just because simply of the age. You know, you got arthritis, you got all this other stuff, all these other problems once you hit this age. And I want to see him fight. I would have loved to see him clearly win a title, but I can't give him that fight either. I think a draw was really the best case scenario for both of them in there. But honestly, I still think Barrios won that fight. Not by a lot, you know. It wasn't a clear victory, but it was a close fight with Barrios winning. I really do hope that Pacquiao stays going. I think that was a good last showing. I don't want to see him come back. Do you guys? I think James agrees. He don't want to see him fight anymore. Javi, Robbie, want to see him back in the ring?
Hell, why not? And rematch sounds perfect to me, especially like I said, he gets more activity, and he gets more of a training camp under him. Let's see if those 4, 5, 6 punch combinations can come back. I think Barrios is still the perfect fighter and the perfect opponent for him.
Well, he
Because
couldn't get it done though. I mean, he never knocked down. He never knocked down Barry. Never really stunned him. Never really did anything. Never really caused any damage. So how do you get a victory out of that?
because the next time they fight, the conversation was going to be it took him twice to do it, but he was able to do it. Okay. When you coming off of that layoff and the age and everything, it's not going to just come right back. It's not. And I don't see Barrios changing. I don't see Barrios. Maybe he does throw a little bit more combinations in the next fight. But if we do see a more game and a better Pacquiao, then I think Pacquiao can edge out the Barrios.
I just don't see that fight happening as a rematch because who would buy it?
People are going to
It
pay for
wasn't a
Pacquiao.
snooze fest.
No,
Yeah,
people are going to
it
pay for
wasn't a
Pacquiao.
snooze fest.
But I think it also helped that there was a decent undercard, you know, set up. I mean, the Fundora and Tszyu rematch was enough to sell me. I mean, I was really looking forward to that fight. Um, kind of wanted to prove myself right with the Fundora and make sure I wasn't dreaming things there. But Isak Cruz, he sells fights, and of course you got Pacquiao. You got three really good, solid matches that would have helped sell a fight. So if he keeps stacking cards like that, then yeah, you can still sell those. And the internet believes Pacquiao won, so I think that's enough right there to be like, hey, we want to see a rematch. We want to see Pacquiao get his comeback against Barrios, but we'll see. Moving on to this weekend, guys. Before we do that, let's go back to CJ. Commented his top 10 heavyweights. We were talking about Usyk earlier. Ali, Holmes, Foreman, Frazier, Lewis, Tyson, different Lewis, Marciano, Holyfield, Shavers, Norton, Bowe. I don't think you could beat those top 10 in their prime. That's just heavyweight pound for pound all the time. I don't know. Usyk, I like Bowe. I may even like Ali. I just don't know about that speed. You know, there hasn't really been a very speedy heavyweight in quite some time. Frazier was a little smaller, so that would be interesting too. I don't know. Tyson, I think he definitely beats Tyson, guys. I love Tyson. I do. But he's just too technically sound. Tyson's just going to come lunging in, and I think Usyk's able to play Matador on that one. But we will never know, guys. Now, of course, this weekend on ESPN Plus, we got a couple of different fights here. We got Bruce Shushu Carrington, and that's going to be against Medius Hayata. And that's for the vacant WBC interim featherweight title. Then we got Xander Zayas taking on Jorge Garcia, and that's for the vacant WBO junior middleweight title. And then in Detroit, On DAZN, we got Clarissa Shields versus Laney Daniels, and that's for Shields' undisputed heavyweight championship. Guys, which of these fights are you most excited for this weekend? I know, James, you're a big Xander Zayas fan, if I remember.
He seems like a good kid, and he's definitely on his way up, so I would never miss that fight. But I can't say I'm the biggest Xander Zayas fan.
No?
That is...
I remember wrong?
Mexico-Puerto Rico thing, an arrangement, so that should be pretty good.
Yeah,
Rob, was it you that was Xander Zayas fan? Who am I remembering that was a Xander Zayas fan?
Shakur.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I want to see Zayas tested here, because I feel like when he's not in a contested bout, he lulls. Like he doesn't come out doing his best.
Fights down in competition.
He fights down to the he does. He fights down to the competition. So I really want to see him tested in this fight, and I hope he is. One of the biggest issues with Zayas is that he's such a big puncher that he thinks he can hurt everybody, and then he runs into trouble when he has these guys that are able to take his punches. And then he gets frustrated and everything, and then he has a lull in the action as well. So I think Jorge, I think he will be able to take the punches, especially early on. And I look for that fight to be interesting because Zayas always wants to finish the show. He just can't 100% do that all the time. He needs to look at a different skill set.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Clarissa Shields, I'm looking for Shields to throw out the bombs in this one and get another knockout victory.
Yeah, she's missing that big fight, you can tell, and she really wants this Layla Ali fight. But guys, that doesn't prove anything either. I mean, it's a big money fight, but just because you beat up a legend don't make you a legend.
Yeah, but she's got, from what I'm hearing right now, she's got a beast on the horizon. I hear Shadisha Green is wanting a shot at the G-Woke. And to me, that's interesting. If she can get up to the weight, make the weight, and make the heavyweight division and still be athletic as she is, that's a good fight.
Good fight, but I don't know. I struggle with everybody coming up in weight. How much should Shadisha Green have to come up?
I just saw that today where she said she had Clarissa on her radar. So I don't know how much, but remember Clarissa stepped all the way up to heavyweight. She wasn't always a heavyweight there either. So maybe Shields does come down. Maybe they meet in the middle, but that's a hell of a fight too.
So it looks like Shadisha's super middle, so she'd have to skip light heavy and go up to heavy, which is one for women 175 and over. I just wish she was already like at least one below. I hate skip a whole weight class, come up and then fight. But we talked about this with Canelo all the time. It makes your achievement that much less. It means that much less. It just does. So again, she just really does not have anybody, and it's not her fault. She's a really good fighter. I mean, 2-time gold. But again, who you have to beat. I mean, you beat everybody that you can. There's just not a lot left for you. And I'm sorry, but even when Shields does fight, she's just not one of the more entertaining fighters. Maybe it's because she does outclass a lot of her opponents. I don't know, but it definitely could be. It's just she's not good TV. She's not a Katie Taylor. She's not an Amanda Serrano.
Right.
She just does not bring that kind of excitement to TV. I can take her or leave her. I think she makes for a good undercard fight. We've tried to put her in main event after main event, and it just does not work. It doesn't work. At least not for me.
I mean, one of the major issues too, though, and you gotta say it is just stop all the crying all the time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Is stop all the crying all the time. If the fans aren't coming to you, then continue on, keep winning. It has to catch up. It has to catch up eventually. But just keep quiet about it. Stop complaining about it as if we're all stupid and don't see greatness. We know you're great, but something has to come to you, and it will. It will if you keep at it. Stop doing the MMA. Stop doing the other sports. It'll eventually come to you. There'll be a fight. I'm telling you, it will be. There will be a fight that will come to fruition that will test her. And then finally she can have her moment of glory.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that fight coming down the way. The women's boxing still is shallow. There's not a lot of depth to it still. Um, so I can't say that a fight's coming down the way. I can hope, but I think that's very different from seeing another fight that's coming down the way. Um, she's 30, so she's still got quite a bit in the game, but I don't know.
Thank God Shakira isn't on here because you would have got blasted for that comment. I'm
What?
sorry, folks, but women's boxing is not shallow. It's the best it's ever been.
Listen. It is the best it's ever been. Shallow meaning there's not a lot of depth. There's not a lot of other fighters. There's not a lot of big names still there. Yes, there are exceptions, obviously, with Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. We've seen those trilogies, and that's amazing. But that's hit a peak now, because what can outdo that?
You
Not a
still got
lot.
fighters out there, damn it, Lucas. You got
I'm not
Alicia
saying
Baumgartner,
that we
Kayla
don't.
Mayer,
And I
uh,
like Michaela Mayer, but again, we have a
Ali's
few.
coming back, made a comeback. She won her fight. People still like Ali. Not Layla, the other Ali.
I hear you.
Ramla
But
Ali.
you're already digging. You're already digging, and I'm not even talking about one division. I'm talking about all of women's boxing. There is still not a lot of names for Clarissa Shields, even if she said, "Oh, I'm going to shrink myself down to whatever." For her to even do that, there's still a very limited amount of
What's her name?
people.
Ebane or whatever just signed a contract with Matchroom.
Ebony Bridges, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Ebony Bridges. Yeah.
And is she really a great fighter, or is she just really good looking?
Well, she could mix it up.
She
Decent fights.
mixes it up, but she's already got a few losses on her record, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
far from an elite. That's what I'm saying. Is like it's not. Again, women's boxing is the best it's ever been. A lot of that's from Jake Paul. A lot of that's from Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. And a lot of that, they just had a whole women's card, and that card was amazing. But as far as big selling numbers, big fighters, big name fighters, there's not a lot there. And I think Clarissa Shields is very jealous and envious of what Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano did, because she feels like she deserves that type of a fight. And I agree. She does. But there's no one up there or around there to really give her that. She's trying to bring somebody of a retirement to do that.
Yeah, she wants the big fight, but there, like you said, in her weight division, there's just not a lot of competition that's going to give her a good fight. There is no mega fight for her unless she comes down in weight, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Taylor versus Baumgartner fight I want to see. I desperately want to see that too. I don't think it does better numbers or anything, but I desperately do want to see that fight. I think that's at a main event card upon itself. CJ goes on. Shields versus Ali is the fight everyone wants to see. I could take it or leave it, CJ, but maybe I'm the odd man out. I just think bringing somebody out of retirement, especially Ali's case, is too far gone at this point.
Way past due date.
She says, CJ said, can Layla beat the GOAT to become the greatest like her daddy was? I don't even know if that can put her already as the GOAT, but I'd probably put her up there. I mean, one win doesn't necessarily do that, but coming out of retirement and then beating one of the best, If anything does it, that'll do it. Do you think there's another fight to be made with anybody else for Shields? Should she win this fight? We're all predicting she's going to beat Laney
I
Daniels.
like Sadisha Green. I think that'll be a competitive fight.
So you think her jumping that much weight is still going to be competitive regardless?
Still going to be competitive. The girl can fight.
I hope so.
She just beat Marshall.
Well, I definitely encourage everybody to check Shields out on this DAZN on Saturday night. Don't forget you got the ESPN, Bruce Shushu Carrington, as well as Xander Zayas. Guys, any parting words before we close up shop for the night?
I'm good.
Rob?
Just to touch on one other thing, I think it's great, but the announcement was made recently by Turk, and along with his partnership with DAZN, that we're finally going to see what DAZN was made out to be and have no more pay-per-view fights. Of course, you got to subscribe or add your subscription to the app, but it seems like that's where they're going with the fights being bought on Netflix, the fights being bought on DAZN, non-pay-per-view, starting with the November fight with David Benavidez and Haney on the undercard of that one. That's going to be a big deal. So, yeah, I think that's a big moment in boxing, especially for DAZN. Lucas, that's the case. What happens to Prime?
Well, Prime's something different altogether. I think you're going to get some fights for free on Prime, but I mean, that's mainly pay-per-view. And what happens to it? Well, I mean, they're not paying a monthly fee like they are DAZN. So I think people may be more in line to pay a pay-per-view than to pay, what is it, $30 right now for DAZN? Is that what it is? So $30 for DAZN, yeah, you better not have a pay-per-view. I'm paying you $30 a month already. Why would there be pay-per-view? Look, you guys ran on this the first time, okay? Then you went back on it and said, oh, but for Canelo and AJ, you got to pay. And now you're back to saying, oh, well, no, we're in the pay-per-view. Look, I'm not buying it. You're not getting me to subscribe again. Sorry, DAZN. Not to mention, and I don't care if you're watching ahead of DAZN. I hope you are. Your production quality is garbage. Why does the audio always cut out? Why does the video always cut out? Why do you have so many problems? Look, if I'm paying $30 a month, right, that's more than I was paying HBO. That's more than I was paying Showtime, right? And they had excellent commentary. They had excellent top-notch production quality. I don't remember many times where I'm like, man, look what happened to the sound. Man, what happened to the picture? This happens on a card basis, guys. It's not like it's rare. This happens so much with the AZN. I'm not paying $30. You can end pay-per-view. I don't give no goddamn. You can have every fighter on there. I am still not paying you $30. Not for what you offer.
So in case y'all don't know, Lucas's head is as hard as a tombstone. Okay, he's hard-headed. You forget back in the day with HBO pay-per-view, even Showtime pay-per-view, everybody has issues. Okay, you used to have issues when you got a pay-per-view from HBO and the fight comes on and you don't see anything, or that something goes down and you miss the first fight. All types of shit was happening with the pay-per-view format on HBO back in the day, and we complained, but we never got rid of it.
I don't really remember it, and I certainly don't remember every night there being some
You
kind
don't remember,
of
man? Every pay-per-view, we used to have to call the cable company and complain, especially the Tyson era. We always used to have to complain because it'd be 8 o'clock, the fight starts. 8:05, there's nothing on the TV.
Okay, but back then it wasn't necessarily always on HBO. Sometimes it was on your cable provider themselves. In this case, nobody can be blamed other than DAZN. This is them streaming directly to you. So yeah, this is all DAZN's fault. They got to eat every single one of this. And this is not just pay-per-view. This is in every card basis. There is some kind of problem. Every card. But I don't want to beat a dead horse. They used to be $9.99. Now they want $30. They have it was $9.99 and said they ended pay-per-view. Then they brought pay-per-view back, and now they're trying to say they ended it again, but you're charging me $30. So yeah, I mean, you might as well be paying me for pay-per-view. I might as well be paying for it because it's $20 extra damn dollars every time. And you ain't really got fights on a daily or on a monthly basis that even I see as worth $30 all the time. Some months, I would agree, yes. Other months, not really, no. So I'm not paying you $30. I'm sorry. If you think, Turk, that this is going to end pay-per-view, you are fucking sadly mistaken. If you think this is going to stop people from streaming your shit, you are also very sadly mistaken. That is not going to solve this. Why would I still pay $30 if somebody else is streaming it for free? You got to make it make sense, guys. $30 price tag, way too high. That's more than HBO, more than Showtime. In fact, I think it's those two put together, and I don't get half of the decent amount of fights, half of the decent amount of production, none of that. Guys, it's been a great show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As we moved this to Thursday. It's no longer Tough Talk Thursday or Tuesday. It is now Tough Talk Tonight. So I would like you to join us every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. As always, we don't pull any punches, and we'll see you again next week.